How do you cope after a breakup with a narcissist? In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 things that really helped me to get over the narcissist and move forward with my life. I want to start by saying that a breakup with a narcissist is very different and way more traumatic than a breakup with just another regular human being. Why is that? Because when you break up with a narcissist, there are some devastating dynamics at play. First thing, you are grieving the loss of someone who never actually existed. Imagine the shock of finding out that the person you thought you knew all this time never existed. This narcissist wore a mask this whole time, deceiving you about who they really were. And this didn't just go on for days or weeks. For a lot of you, this has gone on for years and decades. And second, the narcissist has moved on so quickly and is acting like you never existed. Your mind is spinning, and it can be so shocking and heart-wrenching to go through. You thought that person loved you and cared about you, but they never did. All this time you were bonding with them, maybe over years or decades, and while that bond for you was deepening with them over time, they were never bonding with you. And that is why it is so easy for them to callously move on and replace you overnight with somebody else. And thirdly, you are going through some massive betrayals. The narcissist has managed to turn some of the most important people in your life against you, making you out to be some crazy person or the one to blame for all the problems in the relationship. And fourth, lastly here, the narcissist may have depleted all your money, resources, time, savings, everything. You may feel like you have given the very best years of your life, all the very best that you had. It's like they squeezed all the life juice out of you, and now you feel like this empty shell of a person, not knowing if you could ever recover your old true self. A breakup with a narcissist can be so traumatic that it can drive people to psychiatric wards or to become suicidal. It is not a joke. And if it was not for God's grace and His supernatural healing power in my life, I could have ended up in a really bad place. I definitely would not be in a position to do these videos, but it is my deep desire and mission to help people who are stuck in toxic relationships to get healed and to be set free. So how do you get over such a shipwreck? In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 things that really helped me to get over the narcissist and move forward with my life. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm Shaneen Megji. I am a transition coach. Welcome to my YouTube series on Toxicity is Not Your Destiny. My mission is to help people navigate toxic relationships and environments in their lives from a biblical, practical, and spiritual perspective. So if you like this video, take a moment, click the subscribe button, click the bell, because every week I'm going to be bringing you a new video to empower you to navigate toxic relationships and environments. So now let's get into the subject. Here are 10 things you can do to move forward with your life. Number 1, understand that when the relationship ends with a narcissist, the pain is a lot like grieving death. For 2 reasons. Number 1, you never get closure, which is a lot like what happens when someone dies. Someone is in your life, and the next thing you know, they're just gone. The other reason it is like death is because the person you loved that you were in a relationship with did not exist. So that is another form of mourning and loss. You are grieving the person who you thought the narcissist was, but who never really existed. Expect that you will go through a similar cycle as someone who is grieving the death of a loved one. And the stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Expect that you will go through all of these stages. And even when you think you are healed and doing great, it can creep up on you suddenly. Something out of the blue can just trigger you. You have to be so patient and compassionate with yourself. You have to be your own best friend. You have to learn how to self-parent. You have to learn how to give yourself the encouragement you need, because nobody else is going to do this for you. And this is one of the things, this is one of the ways God wants to make you stronger, is to teach you how to partner with yourself by being your own best friend, by being the one who loves yourself the most, and to nurture yourself and give yourself what you need. And so part of that is just to be very, very patient with yourself, be very accepting with what your body may physically need, what your soul might need, and just be responsive that way. When I went through the shipwreck in my own life, even a year later, I noticed my body didn't feel the same as it used to. I was way more tired. I slept a lot, and at the same time I was battling insomnia. Simple things that used to feel like a piece of cake to do would be a monumental effort. I used to be able to walk for hours, but when grief hit me, I barely had the energy to go around the block. I'm normally pretty disciplined, but I would find myself going on social media and scrolling mindlessly, sometimes for hours. I just couldn't bring myself to doing anything productive. And it's tempting to feel like you are going backwards or not getting better or not doing well in life, but that is not true. You have to believe that. Grief just has to work its way out of your system over time, and you just need to give it that space that it needs. Understand that when you are grieving multiple layers of things, not just one thing. You are grieving over your dreams with this person being shattered. You are grieving the loss of friends and family members. You are grieving the lost years of your life. And just know God can redeem those years. Sometimes when things end like that and you find yourself alone, it's like coming out of a time warp. You're like, who am I? Where am I? Part of the healing process involves going through every season alone without that other person or without those people who were once in your life. You have to go through a Christmas without them, and each of the holidays, and each of the birthdays, every day that would have represented some memory. You just need to experience each day of a year without that person, and maybe more, and start to create some new experiences for yourself. It's important to accept that you will have your good days and you will also have your bad days, your down days. Just expect that you're going to have both. Be compassionate with yourself on the down days and give yourself the time and space your soul needs. Sometimes we can underestimate the effects of trauma, but just know that as you allow yourself to go through the grief, to give yourself time to rest, to slow down, to just love on yourself, to draw near to God, you are being healed. You are being made stronger. Your roots are going deeper into the soil of your life, and you are being fortified. Believe me, you will come out of it. You will return to your old self. And more than that, you will recover your true, authentic self, the person you were always meant to be. Number 2, the second way you can move forward with your life. Look for the thing God is birthing in your life. I have come to notice that when one thing dies, God is causing something new to be born. So what is God birthing in your life now that the narcissist is out? When a relationship ends with a narcissist, it can cause you to go through a huge unraveling process. Your perceptions change, you are processing so much, trying to make sense of what just happened. And this whole process can change your outlook on how you see the whole world, on how you approach relationships. You may have been super naive or gullible before, but this experience has taught you not to trust people so easily. And that is a good thing, my friend. There is a proverb that says, I'll just read it, "The naive believe everything, but the sensible man considers his steps." And so this experience has probably taught you that you are going to be way more prudent and wise and shrewd before just launching into any relationship with a person. So in this season, you've gone through a massive death, but when there is death, God is also birthing something new. Have you ever noticed that when somebody dies in a family, maybe even somebody that's elderly, it isn't much longer that there's a baby that is born shortly after? And there's something really profound about that. I believe that in that death, God is birthing something new. It could be a new initiative. Maybe it's time to write that book or start that art piece or that business or the thing that has been sitting on the shelf for a long time. Something that you will feed and cultivate each day like a new life being born. What is that new life? It is so important to look for it and ask God for it. Isaiah 61:3 says that God bestows on us a crown of beauty instead of ashes. So you can take courage that God is always about restoring and turning things around and working out beauty in your life and removing ashes. You might feel like you don't even know where to begin, and I totally get that. But start small, even if it's very small, even if it's a little micro action. I say build brick by brick, meaning do one small thing a day to nurture and grow that baby. It is so important to nurture that baby because it will be the thing that will help pull you into the future of where God is taking you. There's a beautiful verse in the New Testament of Paul saying how he forgets what is behind him and he lays hold of what is ahead. So the way to stop looking at the past and dwelling on it and replaying it over and over is to actually shift your vision into the future, into the new thing God is doing right now in your life. It may take a lot of faith for you to start because you may not have the energy nor the motivation to do anything. And I can relate to that. But listen, if you start by faith and trust that God will give you everything you need, even to just do the small step, even just one small brick, the more you build, the more you will be moving the stakes of your life from out of your past where they were holding you hostage and moving them into the future. And now it will be those stakes that will be pulling you forward into the future that God has for you. The third thing you can do to get over the narcissist is going no contact. Delete that person from your social media, delete them off your phone, delete their friends and the community that they were part of. Do your best to minimize them out of your life. And I'm sure you've heard this said before. It's everywhere. This is what everybody says about how you deal with a narcissist. Now, I have to say that I wasn't good at this completely. Sometimes when the discard is so callous and there's no closure, there's a part of you that wants to see what they're up to. You wonder, do they notice my absence? Do they realize what they lost? Are they looking for me? Do they miss me? Do they regret at all what they did? And the sad reality is, you'll never get the answers. And what you will see will shock you. They actually don't notice your absence. They aren't looking for you, and they don't regret it. You might think, I'll rise up again, and they will regret what they did. But honestly, if they have moved on, they couldn't care less. They aren't even looking for you, nor noticing anything you're doing. Unless, of course, they're wanting to have control back over your life again. But if they have the new thing, the new supply keeping them occupied, they aren't looking for you. As far as they are concerned, you are to blame for all the problems in the relationship. And sometimes you just want a clue that maybe, just maybe they feel bad about what happened and regret it. But I have to say that this doesn't happen. And it can be very disheartening to see that they actually really have moved on and they're not looking back. So following them on social media or the internet can cause a big setback. It can trigger old feelings, old grief, old pain that you have to get over all over again. It's just not worth it. Going no contact is definitely a way to accelerate the healing process and moving the stakes of your life into your future. Now, I will just add that if you focus on cultivating and growing that new baby that God is birthing in your life, whatever that is, you will find that with time, you will lose the temptation to even look at what the narcissist or the people you left behind are doing with their lives. You will have no interest and you will be totally indifferent to it. Now, the next steps I'm about to tell you are going to be helpful for you if you are feeling tempted to go back to the old relationship. The fourth thing you can do to move on with your life: keep a diary that has a record of all the abuse you went through in graphic detail. Read it every time you miss the narcissist or feel tempted to go back. It will jolt you back to reality. What happens is that as time passes, the trauma bond may kick in. You may start to feel the emptiness in your life. You miss the person and you want to go back. And that's because you're remembering all the good things you had in your relationship, which haven't manifested yet in your new life. Your life might feel like an empty wasteland. And so what isn't there filling it right now is screaming very loud at you. You have to understand that your soul is very much like a screaming child in this way. And you have to realize that your memories get distorted in a lot of ways. When time passes, we forget about the abuse, and instead we feel the pain of the good things that are absent right now. There's a story in the Bible of the Israelites who had left Egypt, and they got free from this cruel dictatorship of King Pharaoh. Well, once enough time had passed, the Israelites forgot how bad their situation was, and they started missing all the good things like the meat and the onions and the leeks and all the good food they used to eat, because every day they were just eating this boring manna. So all they had was the same manna, the same thing every day, all day, time after time, feeling like it was never going to end. And you might be feeling that same way about your life, like it's just the same old thing every day, nothing changes, and you feel like this is how life is going to be. This is going to be your forever state. But it is not true. It is so not true. You are just in a transition right now, and you are on your way to your promised land if you can stick it out and if you can trust God. The fifth thing you can do, try some new experiences that you haven't done. Whether they are with new people in your life or whether you're by yourself. If you can plan dates with yourself and dates with God and do something different and new, or things just to nurture yourself, this will be huge in your life. Do things you haven't done for yourself in a while. Like order those Epsom salts, order those bath bombs, take a nice hot bath and get those candles and put them around your bathtub, or get a really good book. Or go to a movie, or to an art store, or maybe go to a concert or a nice restaurant. Maybe an option is to get involved in something and volunteer. You can go and connect with people that are lonely, or just lean into the solitude, this alone time that you have in this season, which you may not have had for a long time. The sixth thing you can do to move forward with your life, be present in the moment. Try to do everything you can to enjoy the very moment you are in. Take in who you are with, what you are doing. Another great thing you can do is practice gratitude, and having a journal to do this with is very helpful. I would usually try to write 3 things in it every day that I'm grateful for, usually before bed. And this just helps me to stay focused on the positive things and not on the negative and not on the things that I've lost, but really to set my sights on what God is doing and what are the blessings in my life. And this can be so healing, and this can just change your disposition altogether in life and help you to be more happy and joyful and peaceful in the day. The other thing that's really important is that God says to cast our cares on Him with thanksgiving. So once you practice gratitude, share every burden you have with God. Lift up every care to Him. When you start to pray, things are activated in the Spirit. You are activating answers to your prayers in the Spirit, and your prayers can be releasing angels to come to your aid. So don't neglect praying and talking to God about everything that is on your heart. The seventh way to move forward with your life, strengthen yourself in God. This was single-handedly the thing that helped me the most, more than any other thing I've shared so far. God was definitely a pillar of strength and the source of much healing in my heart. There was some healing He did supernaturally in my heart, but there was also quite a bit of healing that I also had to walk out every day. So it's very possible that God will accelerate healing for you. He will do supernatural things, and there will still be layers of healing that you will have to walk out on a day-to-day basis. So there is no magic formula for how God heals, but He does heal. And if you involve Him in the process, you will find yourself healing much more quickly and completely. When I think about strengthening ourselves in the Lord, I really look at the example of King David in the Bible right before he became king. His men turned on him, the people that were most loyal to him, the ones who were with him for years when he was in the caves. And now David was all alone. You may have lost family and close friends through this whole ordeal. It's usually in situations like this where people's true colors come out, and it can be pretty devastating. And then it takes time to build new friendships. They just don't happen overnight. And to top it off, you may not trust people again that easily. The Bible says that David, when he was all alone, strengthened himself in the Lord. And when he strengthened himself, he regained focus, clarity, and vision about his situation and his life. He regained everything that the enemy took from him. So I believe that as you do this, you will gain ground and you will experience a massive payback for everything that was stolen from you and taken by the enemy. So take time when you strengthen yourself in God to meditate on scriptures, to pray, to go on walks with God, listen to worship music, journal, and process with God on paper. All these things can grow your spirit, man, and accelerate healing, and also usher you into your divine purpose. So friend, I think I said I was going to give you 10 things, but I only had 7. These were the 7 things, so my apologies for misleading you by saying 10, but I hope that these 7 things were helpful. I definitely did not cover an exhaustive list, and I'm sure there are many other things out there that have helped people. Have you gone through a breakup or a bad ending with a narcissist? What are some things that helped you to get through it and not return back to the abuse? If you know someone who is going through a difficult breakup or a separation from an abusive person and they are vulnerable right now, share this video with them to help them to navigate and to not go back in. If you have left a toxic or abusive environment and you're in a season of transition, I have a gift for you. It is a training on 3 key ways to navigate a difficult transition. These are things that brought a massive breakthrough in my life when I was going through a difficult transition. I have included the link below. So this brings me to the end of my video. If you would like to see more content from me and have not subscribed yet, go ahead, click the subscribe button and click the bell so that you can receive the alerts. Because every week I will be posting a new video to empower you to navigate toxic relationships in your life. And if you like this video, please give it a like. This channel is pretty new, so your like just helps me to know if I should put out more content like this. And if you have other ideas of what you'd like to hear me talk about, please feel free to mention them in the comments below. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. Until the next time.